なぜもっといい学校行くために頑張らなかったの？なぜ学校のサークルを参加しなかったの？みんな一生懸命働いてるのになぜ働かないの？このままじゃ定年後はどうするつもり？
How come you haven't started studying and falling in love yet? Are you the only one who doesn't have a driving license? How come you still need to live off of your parents? How come you still haven't learned anything of value in school? How come everyone has a big house to live in and so many kids and you're all alone?
上学了吗？还没结婚啊？人家的孩子都那么大了，怎么事业还是没什么起色？
നീ എന്തിനാ പഠിക്കാൻ കൂടുതൽ സമയം ചെലവാക്കത്തെ? അയന നീ കല്യാണം കഴിച്ചില്ല, അമ്മയും അച്ഛനും ആഗ്രഹിച്ച പോലെ. എന്തിനാ നീ ഒരു നല്ല ജീവിതം അമ്മയും അച്ഛനക്ക് വേണ്ടി കൊടുക്കാഞ്ഞേ? എന്തുകൊണ്ട് നീ പിള്ളേർക്ക് ഒരു വീട് വാങ്ങിച്ചു കൊടുത്തില്ല?
Wherever we are born, our lives seem to be divided into stages by the cultural environment in which we live. The culture we live in creates a timetable for us to live our lives according to the rhythm of the timetable. These timetables are called social clocks. I was born in the southeast of China and I have grown up here. From a young age, I could feel the people around me living in such a schedule in an invisible way. Until I was 20, the social clock was telling me that I should be a qualified student. I am now only 23, but I can already clearly see that by the time I turn 30, the social clock will dictate that I should have find a stable job and be married with children. By the time I turn 40, the social clock will require me to have my own house and a car, and for my children to have a good education. When I turn 50, the social clock states that I should have saved enough money to afford my children's marriage. When I turn 60, the social clock dictates that I am able to help my hard-working children with the stress of caring for their children. It seems that no one has ever helped me organize the scale of this clock, but it has been engraved in my consciousness, that of my friends, that of my parents, and that of most of the people around me since the beginning of the time. It seems that we are always defining whether our clocks are early or late, fast or slow. The discrepancy with the social clock has influenced me and countless others around me with negative emotions. This includes confusion about the distant future scale on the social clock, anxiety about the upcoming scale, and frustration about the scale that has passed but that has not been fulfilled. These negative emotions, which tend to cycle through the social clock, can always make people negatively view their lives and their enthusiasm for life. So those who are satisfied with their life so far and consider themselves successful in life will, by definition, have a life clock that follows the social clock very closely. I interviewed a total of 68 people who were considered themselves to be satisfied with their lives so far, and these are my results. Some were proud of having a stable job and have a happy marriage in their hometown. Others felt a sense of achievement for having given up their comfortable life in a small city to venture into the big city. Some are glad that they ended their unhappy marriage at 26. Others get married at 18, become a housewife and reap the benefits of a happy family. Some graduate from high school at 18 and are assigned to work in state enterprises. Some choose to start their own business at 22 and already have 2 shops of their own by the time they are 28. Others only graduate at 29 and find a job they are passionate about at 32. These life clocks of success in the eyes of the clock owner are pieced together as if there were no obvious patterns. Notably, most people's life clock are very different from the social clocks. The difference between these people and the many more who are dissatisfied with their lives because they have deviated from the social clock seems to lie only in their subjective judgment of the life clock. These people who have a good life in their own perspective seem to have their own criteria for evaluating life that are rarely bounded by the social clock. When we leave behind the meticulous carved social clock and pick up the pen to write down the scales of our lives, each person's life is seen as an intriguing piece of literature to the onlooker. Only when I put down this pen and compare my own life clock with those who are satisfied with their own lives, can I find that in this clock of success, I can always piece together the shadows of my own life. I can find similar origins, similar families, similar upbringings, similar milestones in life in the piece of these clocks of success. However, the tracing of the social clock in my heart transforms these similar clocks from shining to something dim. New York time is 3 hours ahead of California time, but California time is not slower. The early and late times in New York and California differ due to the time zones in which they are located. However, time zones are artificially set, and it is the artificially drawn central meridian that makes the difference between early and late times throughout different regions. When one looks at the globe, it is simple to understand at what moment in time each of the different latitudes and longitudes has, and it's a unique position in relation to the sun. There is really no difference between fast and slow time, or early and late time. Millions of individuals are standing on millions of different longitudinal and latitudinal points on around us. We seem to always lose sight of the fact that the difference in the life clock between us derives from more factors. Everyone's unique personality, the different environments that people are living in, etc., similar to how every unique latitudinal or longitudinal geographical point naturally has their unique time. Each person's life clock should also be naturally unique and different. When people try to define these life clocks, there is essentially no difference between fast and slow in everyone's life clock.